Do you have one that comes to
Yeah,
mind?
actually, last year,
Move a little closer.
we had an individual order, singing Valentine to go to his intended, who worked at a pharmacy at Ingalls. And we went out, and she had no idea. And we stood in front of the pharmacy counter at Ingalls, and we sang, and then he came out, and it was really very dramatic and very, very romantic.
Have you ever had a proposal as a result?
Well, they didn't call us up to say so.
Right.
We hope that there were.
Now, have you ever had somebody said you couldn't sing there, or it's a place of work, or they kind of all let you in once you show up?
I think the latter. I think they say, "Oh, wow, I didn't know about this," and we'll give it a try. We've never had anybody say no.
To leave. Have you ever gotten like other people watching? Like Ingalls probably was fun. Do other people then kind of watch it also?
Actually, they do, and we even carry cards when we go out and sing in case somebody walks up and says, "Hey, I want you guys to come sing over here," and we would get some additional orders
Have you
just
gotten
from
gigs?
singing.
That would be
So-
really cool. And so let me ask a little bit. We'll get the others involved as well. In terms of having you come on board, Pete, do I have a choice of what you want to sing, or you guys make the choice? Is that correct?
Normally, we'll just sing what the quartet is singing the best that particular day. Most of our songs are pretty generic as far as being, love songs for the season. So it doesn't. Most of the people don't know the difference these days of one song versus another because they're 100-year-old songs.
Well, it's really cool too. If I have you come out, I get not just one song. I get two songs,
That's correct.
and I also get a rose.
A rose, and you can get chocolates too.
Oh, can I really?
Oh yeah.
Okay. And so if I order it, so my wife can get the rose, I can get the chocolates.
That's
guys have to work
a
that
political
out.
decision that I can't answer.
And do I have a choice as to how much? So I can get additional roses or additional chocolate if I want.
That's correct. We'll suit to order whatever you want to order. We will make it happen.
How cool is this? Because I remember the first time you told me about this, it just caught me off guard. But now you're getting me to think, so,
We're glad to hear that.
okay, occasionally I do. CJ?
Wait,
Yeah.
I remember one time last year we went to Mission Hospital. Somebody had ordered a Valentine, and a lot of people on that floor had us there, and it just added a lot of cheer to that work environment and for the people who needed to be there for the day.
Well, like you said, wouldn't that be a cool thing, to just surprise somebody and to make a difference? I'm getting a chill, but you are too. Do you have the same kind of feeling when you kind of make a difference or you see people?
Absolutely, and singing can bring so much joy to people. When we do performances, whether it's quartet, Valentine's, or other performances, people come up to us afterwards and say, "Oh, it just gave me so much joy. It was such a pleasure to hear." So singing offers a lot of joy in the world.
I'm getting emotional just hearing this. Just last year when you hit me on the show, we just walked in and just caught me off guard, but now I understand it. And what a great concept. Do you do, other than singing at Valentine's Day, do you sing, like, if somebody for their birthday or anniversary, do you do that as well?
We can. People can give us a call, or they can go on. If you go on to our website, AshevilleBarbershop.com,
Yeah.
there are lots of things that we can do. We principally do performances in performance settings. So sometimes in a church, sometimes in a performance hall, sometimes in a high school auditorium, that we will invite the public to come and see.
Now, you're giving them an idea, too, which is kind of dangerous. But at your performances, for example, when you do a concert performance, is there any singing along? Or do you encourage people to sing along?
I have an interesting story about that.
Please.
We were doing a singing Valentine, this was a couple of years ago, and we had a member of the audience join in with us and start singing. And we were singing along this beautiful love song, and all of a sudden this little beagle hound that was there at the tomato stand started howling along. So we had some accompaniment on that.
That was the audience. It's too bad. That would have been a great YouTube video, though.
That
Oh,
would have been great.
oh. Or if you come to my place, I'll have our cat, but I don't think
There
the
you
cat
go.
sings along, too.
While
Steve?
we're talking about performances, thanks to you, we have a partnership with the Dementia Society of America.
Oh, are you doing that?
And yes, we've already completed our first year, and we have sung to over 100 dementia patients and their caregivers. And we are going to sign up again for another year with the Dementia Society of America.
Oh, I'm
And
getting
so
chilled,
it's a
but
nice
thank
little
you.
partnership.
Oh, that's great,
So-
because again, back to CJ's point, I mean, it's so exciting that one of the things the Dementia Society of America does is rather than just talk about medication of people, to get them involved. And singing, I guess CJ was saying, Ken, do they participate when?
Oh, it's an amazing experience. We went to 3 different places and sang, and I remember distinctly the last place we went. It was called the Irene Wortham
Right.
Center, and there were a lot of people in that room, and a lot of them had some real problems, physical and emotional problems. We started singing. We had people who were jumping up and down, who had been almost
Right,
motionless
yeah.
before. We had people swaying back and forth. We had one lady who danced all around the room. It just was an amazing experience
Oh,
for
I'm s-
us and for them.
So I'm so glad you do that. Thank you. And so just since you mentioned it's the Dementia Society of America is a website, do a lot of good work, but I'm so glad that you guys are doing that. But just, you can make a difference. In terms of making a difference, rather than us just talk about the whole show, I think I told you, I was on Randy off the air, we have, 3.5 hours today?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to hear.
We're good, we're not
because
going anywhere.
We're going to hear a couple of songs, but ordinarily, you have, I think, 37 possible songs you can
Yeah.
sing on Valentine's Day?
That's right.
So we'll cut it down. We're only going to have 27.
somewhere
now.
between 4 and 36.
Okay, great. So can we hear one?
Okay, what do we want to do? Which one are you pointing at?
I'm not pointing at any of them.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
What would
Playlist.
you like? CJ, we'll let you choose.
Let's do Let Me Call You Sweetheart.
That's a great
Okay.
idea.
Okay.
Put my cheaters on.
Now, you're in for a treat, folks. You're going to be listening to the, does your group have a specific name?
Well, 3 of us are Mountain Air. It's a
Right.
quartet that we formed. One of the baritone couldn't be here, and CJ
Pinch hitting.
volunteered to jump in, and she's got a
She stepped
beautiful baritone voice,
She
and
does.
she's jumped in to
We're
save us.
officially known as Pod A.
Yes,
Pod.
yeah, for Valentine's Day, it's Pod A. That's
Okay, so Pod A, why don't you hit it, guys?
Let me call you sweetheart, I'm in love with you. Let me hear you whisper that you love me too. Keep the love light glowing in your eyes so true. Let me call you sweetheart, I'm in love with you, with you.
And so I'm just thinking, where my mind is going for next week. We'll talk about it off the air. But on the number of songs I choose from, so as Pete said, you choose that yourself, but there are 37 possible songs you can sing?
Well, we could. Some of them aren't appropriate for Valentine's Day.
Okay. We won't go there. But, so we call you up and we'll talk about how to get information on this. And you can do it on the website. And you can sign up, and there are a whole bunch of options about how much chocolate you want, how much, and each different option. What's that website, Steve?
It's AshevilleBarbershop.com. One word, Asheville Barbershop. It doesn't matter whether it caps or not, but it's AshevilleBarbershop.com.
And so people can sign up from start to finish and arrange everything on you on that?
Yeah, and they can pay with PayPal, with their Visa card, or however they want to do it with PayPal. We have a PayPal button, and there are 3 choices, and you pick the choice you want. And the top choice, the higher price choice, you get half a dozen roses, you get a card, you get chocolate, you get a photo taken and emailed to you
How do you do the photo?
with our phones, and then we email it.
No, but if you're all in it, or you get
Oh,
the selfie? Okay.
Well, we also have an extra person in most of the
Oh, do you
pods
really?
if we need them to do something like that for us.
Now, do you all come up together, or you meet each other there?
We meet ahead of time because we go around to several different places, so we usually carpool or take a couple of cars, yeah.
So how many people on 14th and 15th? You have how many people in the chapter?
13th and 14th.
13th and 14th, I'm sorry. How many people do you have in the chapter?
We have 45 officially, we have 35 that are active, and we have about 25 or 30. It's growing right now. We're very happy it's growing, who come to rehearsal. And then out of that, I think we have, what do we have, 5 quartets?
I think we have 5 pods,
5, yeah.
which, and a pod is larger than a quartet, so you have additional people to either take pictures or to sub out. You know, if somebody's getting tired, their voice is getting tired, you can sub out for that voice part.
So it just sounds, even listening to you, it just sounds like a fun thing. I mean, do you guys
Oh,
have
yeah.
fun with it too?
Oh,
Very
yeah.
fun.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, after having sung for as many years as I did in so many different venues, before discovering barbershop, I had not ever had that sense of real gratification in the artistic realm until I was singing a cappella, close harmony, 4-part. It just absolutely transformed my sense of music and being able to move into that.
Yeah. Now talk a little bit about, so for next, the 13th and 14th, what, in terms of people going there, how long is the whole thing?
Well, you know, we show up, we're behind the scenes somewhere, we're warming up, excuse me, and then we seek out the person. If the person who ordered the Valentine is there, we seek them out. Otherwise, we seek out the recipient. And I think it's probably, the whole process could be as little as 10 minutes, because we sing them a couple of songs and we talk to them just a very little bit and say, you know, so-and-so has asked us to come and recognize you on Valentine's Day, et cetera. We have a little script that we use. And then we sing a couple of songs, and I mean, we could be persuaded to sing 3, you know, an encore if they really wanted us to, but normally it's a couple. So 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes.
Okay. Now let me ask you, Pete.
And sometimes you'll end up and the recipient is such a blithering mess that one is all you can do and you just leave because the moment is past at that point. So,
Well, is that the goal? You want somebody to be in tears?
well, yeah. We're all sentimental suckers here, you know?
No, but it is. I'm getting emotional just hearing about this. You know, it just, I can see the
We want them to be
reaction.
in tears not because of the quality of the music, but because of the emotion that it generates.
Well, let's talk a little bit about, guys, how you got into this. So that, let's start off with Pete, that you've been singing, I guess, a large part of your life.
Yeah, I started back in college. Had to take an elective for music, so I took the oratorial course for the Messiah. So I started singing in Handel's Messiah in college.
Did you know you could sing? Had you always been singing?
Yeah, I would sing along here and there, but I never thought much about it until I went to college and started singing there.
And so what got you into barbershop?
A friend of mine invited me to one of the rehearsals, and I just got hooked, and that was 30 years ago, and I've been doing it ever since.
Okay. Is that your favorite type of singing, barbershop?
Yes, it is. I do some other stuff, bluegrass and old-time music, but for the most part, barbershop is it.
Now, I wonder too, you said something interesting. You do bluegrass, you do other kind of music.
Mhm.
Could other type of music be translated into barbershop? Just about?
You can barbershop pretty much any song, although some arrangements will sound barbershopped, and it sounds kind of fake. So it depends on the song.
It's like I love doo-wop, or I love, 50s and 60s.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if that show will be on the air. I used to love it. What was the show that did the a cappella show? It was on the air.
I'm not that old, Blaine.
No, this was recently. There was a TV show. Did you see it where
Oh,
they
I've
sang
heard about it. I don't remember the name.
Oh, really? But they sang a cappella. So a cappella, teach me a little bit. So it's the same thing as what makes barbershop versus a cappella?
Well,
Or is there a
acapella
difference?
is any kind of unsupported vocal music. In other words, there's no accompaniment, there's no harp, there's no banjo, there's no piano, there's no orchestra, there's nothing.
Right.
It's just the human voice. So anything that does that is a cappella.
Is that also barbershop?
Yes.
Not
Well,
necessarily.
barbershop also is, but a cappella does not equal barbershop. So all barbershop is a cappella, but not all a cappella is barbershop.
Got you.
And the way that the structures of the chords, we sing in chords. So if you heard in Let Me Call You Sweetheart, everything that we were singing, every word was in chords in 4 parts.
Now,
It's called
barbershop.
melodic harmony is actually the official.
Barbershop.
singing it.
Could you have background? Could you have music behind you? Could you have a piano player? Or it wouldn't be. Then it wouldn't be.
You could, but it would take away, literally take away from what we're doing with the barbershop, because the music is arranged in a way that if you think of, for people who understand and read music, you have 4 parts from the highest voice to the lowest voice, And the melody is not in the highest voice like it is in a regular church choir or some other kind of choir like that. It's in the second voice, the second highest voice. So we have what we call tenor, which is what Pete sings, and we have a lead who sings the melody, and that's what Steve sings. We have a bass who is supportive of everybody. That's what I sing. And then we have a baritone who gets all the leftover notes. And that's what makes everything meld together is the bari line, which is the third line down in the four.
So you have to have all four of those, ideally all four of those
Yeah.
voices.
Right.
Yeah.
But what happens if somebody gets sick or can't show and you
We
had...
get a replacement.
No, but I'm saying, but does the replacement have to have that particular part,
Yes,
ideally?
they have to be able to
Yes,
sing
they
that
do.
particular part. And it's not, you can't, well, I say it, it's not easy to walk in and, like I normally sing bass.
Right.
If I were to walk in and try and sing tenor, even though I might hit some of the notes, I would have to learn an entirely different part.
Interesting.
So we focus on and become, competent in our specific part out of the four. So CJ is a phenomenal baritone, and her voice blends so nicely with what we do. But if we took CJ and said, okay, you got to sing tenor for Pete, I'm not sure that it would work out quite so well.
Well, before we talk to then CJ and Steve, let me have a second song if we can.
Okay.
Green? Or Sweetheart? Oh, we did Sweetheart. How about Hard My Heart?
All right.
Okay.
You know that one.
Good choice.
Hey,
Yeah.
Black.
Heart of my heart, I love you. Life would be naught without you. Light of my life, my darling, I love you. I love you. I can forget you never. From you I ne'er can sever. Say you'll be mine forever. I love you, only you.
Now, remember that, because when we talk off the air, I want that song, next
That's
week.
great.
But just really phenomenal. CJ, I'm listening to that song, the first one you sang. Most of these songs I wouldn't say are real new songs, or they're not pop hit current songs. Is that true?
That's true, yet barbershop does have have arrangements of more modern songs. So we really sing a wonderful mix of the old traditional tunes as well as modern songs that have been arranged by great arrangers in the barbershop world for four-part harmony.
So if I see you in performance or concert, I'll see some of the newer
A
stuff?
nice mix, yeah.
Yeah. Give me an example of a newer song.
Help me out.
Java Jive?
Thank
Okay,
you.
really?
You know Java
Yeah,
Jive?
Java
Oh,
Jive.
we won't have you sing it now, and that's not a Valentine's
I don't
Day
know,
song
you
Well, we have
necessarily.
swing in other genres. We do things like
Hello,
Disney.
Mary, Hello, Mary Lou, for example.
Oh, really cool.
Right, and we've done Disney songs that have been arranged into a barbershop style. At Last I See the Light, example, from
Oh, Frozen? Not
Frozen.
Frozen.
No.
No, I'm sorry. Is it one word?
oh,
thing?
it's one word, Enchanted.
Yeah,
Well,
something, yeah.
well, let me ask you: have any of you done any arranging?
I haven't done any arranging.
Because that's
No, I
particular.
arrange my body but I don't
Yeah.
do it
We
on
have some
paper.
folks in the group that do arranging.
We
but
do.
Because that's
none
Whole
before
different
us.
set of
no, but
skills.
that's particular skill, I guess you have to have.
Absolutely.
It's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
We have a wonderful arrangement of Moonglow that one of the
Moonglow.
fellows here in our chapter did, and it's a fabulous arrangement.
Well, Steve, talk also a little bit about what you do when you're not doing this Valentine's Day thing that you mentioned. For example, one of you folks mentioned rehearsals. How often do you rehearse?
We rehearse on Tuesday evenings normally. I mean, every week except for around Christmas and New Year's. So, but for this, we started back. I think we started actually in December. We started kind of warming up for Valentine's. teaching different little things each week, something important, like how you're performing. You know, what are you doing with your body, et cetera, et cetera. What do you do if you make a mistake, for example, while you're singing? You know, you recover from it. You don't show anybody you made a mistake, et cetera, things like that.
How long are the rehearsals?
Rehearsals normally start at 7. We really get there at 6 and start setting up and start singing a bit, you know, around the room. But 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock. But we are going to extend our rehearsals soon because we're going to a contest in Charlotte, and we're going to be starting at 6:30, going to 9:30. But for the Valentine's, it's been we spend about roughly an hour of the rehearsal on Valentine's.
Now, when you have the rehearsals too, is everybody together or are they all separate?
We sing together, but we also break off into our pods, you know,
Right.
which is about 5 people, and sing, and get used to each other's voices, balance our own voice against the other voices to blend so that we don't just get somebody blaring out one part. So we work a lot on balance and on paying attention to each other with our ears.
Now, when you also mention the competition, we should mention too that one of the reasons you're doing this Valentine's Day promotion is it helps you fund some of the other activities of the chapter.
That's
And you're
right.
not just, you rehearse, but you're doing Valentine's Day. What are some other things you folks do?
Well, we do a lot of performances here and there and everywhere. We're going to go to Charlotte for what's called the district convention.
Is that everybody or just the four of you?
Anybody who qualifies. No, it's a group, probably maybe as many as 20 of us.
So the 20, it's barbershop also?
It's a chorus, and we
It's a
sing.
chorus.
Yeah, we sing the 4 parts, but we sing it as a chorus. So we have several leads, several on each part. And we're going to Charlotte in March to compete. We try to do this every year, and the competition is so good for us, not because we're expecting to be the gold medal winners, maybe someday. We're growing and we're improving, and that makes us improve. We have a workshop in March where we spend a whole 4 or 5 hours working really, really hard on every little aspect of these 2 songs that we're going to sing in contest. But we sing a lot in retirement communities. They invite us almost every year. We go down to Franklin for an ice cream social.
In August every year.
Yeah, August every year. We're going to be doing a performance at the Asheville High School along with all the other a cappella groups in Asheville. There are lots of them. And we're going to invite them to come and join us and just do a performance for the public at Asheville High School Auditorium.
We have a youth outreach program as well, so we're trying to get the youth of the county involved in singing and understand that singing is a lifelong skill they can learn and take with them no matter where they go, because their voice obviously goes with them. So.
Do you have a preference, Pete, in terms of singing in a quartet, the barbershop quartet, or the overall group?
Oh, there's no question the quartetting is the way to go.
Is it? Yeah,
Yeah.
it sounds
You have to take ownership of your part, and it's really the only way you're going to learn to sing is to sing in a quartet.
See, talk a little bit about who should join in those.
Oh, I'm glad you
are you
brought
always
that up.
seeking new members?
Huh?
Are you always seeking new folks?
Yes, always. And I'll tell you something. You asked Pete if he knew he had a voice when he was younger. The truth is that almost everyone on this planet Earth has a voice. It's whether they train it or not that makes them a singer. And there are very few people. There are people with physiological reasons, but there are very, very few. Very few. So you out there listening, especially the men, but also we've opened up to women. I could mention something about that too. Our chorus is still a men's chorus, but if you have a little singing experience, that's fine, but you don't have to read music. You just have to want to sing well. And we take people from the ground up if we have to. So everybody's welcome. We just recently, by the way, age-wise, we have a new member named Rillian, and he's 13 years old, and he's wonderful.
Is that the youngest?
Yes.
He's our
And
youngest.
yes, he's our youngest. We have his brother, 16-year-old, who's a baritone. Rillian sings tenor. His brother Gareth sings baritone, and then we have some members that are in their 80s. But they all we expect them to sing well. I mean, eventually.
And to come to rehearsals.
Come to
Yes, of
rehearsals,
course.
exactly. And if they need extra training, there are ways of getting extra training for their voices.
Well, we also have a former member who is a mutual friend of several of ours, but Dylan Giles, who's going to be in the Fantastics at ACT opening this weekend, but he was a member for a while too.
Yes,
Do you have people come in and out of the chorus?
we do. We like to have them come in and not go out, but occasionally we do have them come in, decide that it's not for them, and they go out. And there's
And
no
that's
harm.
okay.
No harm, no foul. It's not for everybody. And I'll just add one other thing to Steve's comments. When I started singing barbershop, it became the most challenging kind of singing that I've ever done, because you have to sing with great precision to make all of those chords sound right. You can't just go in and just say, oh, I know how to sing Heart of My Heart, and you belt it out. You've got to be able to do those things that he mentioned earlier. You have to do voice matching, you have to do vowel matching, you have to do pitch matching in order to make that blend, make those chords sound the right way. When those chords lock, there's sort of a ring from the harmonics.
The overtones, yeah.
The overtones.
Yeah.
Without getting too musically nerdy, you had asked earlier about why we don't have like a piano, for example, accompanying us. Well, pianos are never in tune. And I don't say that sarcastically. They cannot tune them because of the mathematics of music. A piano's got 12 keys between A and A, for example. Well, they just divide those up 12 equal pieces. Well, that's not exactly how the notes are in reality. They're adjusted a little bit up or down depending on the note. So the piano is actually in what's called tempered tuning, where we sing in adjusted tuning, where we adjust the notes a little bit to where they actually blend with each other and create an overtone harmonic series. So that's really why we don't sing with accompaniment.
What's the longest anybody has been in the chapter?
Oh, I think one of our guys has been around 30 years. I can't remember exactly, but yeah, we give them certificates every year for the next year of completion of being in our chapter. And one guy, I think, has over 30 years, so yeah.
Very.
In the society, in total,
Oh, in the
there's
society,
guys
yeah.
with
Society.
50 years or more.
Oh, yeah.
How cool.
They've moved around and could I also mention
Please.
something very important? Everything Randy said about the technical aspects of singing and getting the pitch and the voice matching and all that, it's true. But we can teach people to do that. It's not like, oh, wow, I can't do that. My gosh, I can barely sing and I got to do all this. No, we teach people how to do all of those important aspects. And that's what makes it work. That's what makes it work. And I'd also like to mention one other thing before I forget, before we run out of time. We got an article in the Asheville Citizen-Times written by John Shore, who was the advice column guy in the scene.
Right.
Well, Friday in the scene will be an article about our chorus, the Land of the Sky chorus, because he just walked in one evening looking for something else and found us, and he stayed the whole evening and wrote a beautiful article about our chorus. And I'd encourage everyone who wants to know something about us to read that article on Friday.
Or even better, watch Facebook Live, and it'll be on and
There
we
you
can see this
go.
all the time. And let me ask, segues into the fact that we have time for one more song. So a lot of pressure on you, Pete. If you want to choose it, or who's going to choose it? Which are the songs?
Honey Little Lies.
Yeah.
Honey Little Lies it is. B flat.
Oh, honey, honey, bless your heart. Oh, honey, that I love so well, so well. I done been true, my love to you. You're the honey that I love so well. Little eyes, I love you, little eyes, I love you in the spring and in the fall.
Honey, 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 honey.
Little eyes, I love you, little eyes, I love you best of all.
Honey, 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 honey.
Little eyes, I love you, little eyes, I love you in the spring and in the fall.
Honey, 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 honey.
Little eyes, I love you, little eyes, I love you best of all.
Honey, 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 honey.
Honey that I love so well.
Very nice. How many songs? I always wonder about this. So it seems you've memorized at least those 4 or 5.
All our songs get memorized. We can't. We will not perform them from music.
Very
Right.
cool. How many songs? Again, have you memorized ballpark?
Okay, what's in our rep? Our
Right.
current rep, we keep that current rep around 16 to 20 songs, and that includes some patriotic songs like the Star Spangled Banner and some other standards. And then we have a whole bunch of different types of barbershop songs, which include swing, and as we were talking about before. So we keep that rep current, and we'll drop things off when they start getting stale to us, and we'll add new songs
Right.
to take their place.
Yeah.
Have you ever performed at a tourist game?
Oh, yeah.
Asheville
Yeah,
tourist?
We've done
Yeah.
Star Spangled Banner at the tourist game
Dozens
quite a number of
Yeah,
times.
many times.
And UNCA, we've done the national anthem at the UNCA before they've done a basketball game.
And also the Southern Conference Tournament, we've done that.
The
Star Spangled
basketball,
Banner
yeah,
as well.
basketball.
Very exciting.
Just one quick thing.
Sure.
All of us, I know a lot of songs. The chorus is focusing on 15 to 20, but I counted when I was in Luxembourg, 1997 to 2015, I sang over there. We learned 15 songs every 6 months, so I learned over 500 songs. And then I've come here, and I know I've learned at least 50 more. And I'm not bragging, I'm just saying it's amazing. The brain can hold all of that, and it wouldn't take long for me to come back and sing one of those songs from 20 years ago.
And we should also mention, as a compliment to all four of you and everybody in the group, that this is all volunteer, I assume. Is that correct?
Yes, it
Absolutely.
is.
Which
Yeah.
is
We actually pay for the privilege.
Yeah.
you do, or just the time you put into this
That
and,
too.
and
Yeah,
the
we
travel.
are a 501c3 nonprofit organization, but we need money to keep things rolling, to keep the lights on, keep the director standing in front of us, and all the other logistics things we have to pay for.
And to remind folks, if they're interested, including yours truly, in getting a singing Valentine delivery, best bet is to do what?
Go to ashevillebarbershop.com, and on the home page, there's a button you can press, and it takes you to the Singing Valentine's page. You can pay with PayPal. You can order from the lower to the upper. There are 3 different ranges. And the phone number, if you'd rather call in, is 866-290-7269. That's 866-290-7269. And those are the 2 best ways to reach us.
And I'd like to thank you, all four of you, for being here today for this mini concert.
Thank you.
But I'll also encourage people to check you out. And if they want, I guess, too, you mentioned to me, and I have to look it up too, you have a Facebook page too?
Yeah, the one that comes, I think if you look up Land of the Sky Chorus on Facebook,
Right.
you'll find it. But there's also Asheville Acapella Enthusiasts Facebook page, and that's for all the acapella groups. There's a fellow who kind of keeps it up to date, and we all get to send in posts to that. So there's lots of information on concerts and things that are happening. The article I just told you about is posted there. So it's a great place to go. That's Asheville Acapella Enthusiasts. That's Justin Slack, who's another.
Oh, yeah, Justin.
You
Oh,
know Justin.
friend
He's
of
the
mine,
one
yeah.
who takes care of
Maintains
it
that
for us.
page.
Oh, good
Yeah.
guy. Anyway, so I'd like to thank you again for being my guest this special edition of the Blainsville Show, and look forward to seeing you hopefully in the near future.
Yeah, well, we want to
We love
thank
it.
you
Thank you.
very,
Thank you so
very
much
much
for
for having
having
us.
us.
It's been a pleasure.
This was great, guys. And so now we're going to turn you off. I think if